All right, so you brought us this Black Pearl journal, huh?
Yeah.
For a deep dive. And let
Yeah.
me tell you,
Mm.
it's not your average diary.
Right.
It's all about mystical experiences
Mm.
from the College of Thelema.
Yeah.
So we're about to explore, like, angels, rituals, and some seriously intense personal stories.
Oh, yeah.
You ready to jump into this world with us?
Absolutely. I'm excited to see what we find. What I find really fascinating about Black Pearl is that it gives us this glimpse into this often kind of hidden world of mystical practices. It's packed with firsthand accounts and letters and poetry,
Yeah.
all from people who are, actively engaging with and exploring these concepts.
Yeah, it really is like a behind-the-scenes look, isn't it?
Right.
And one thing that keeps, like, popping up is this whole idea of the Holy Guardian Angel,
Right.
or HGA.
Yeah.
And, we've got Crowley's definitions in there, letters from this prominent figure, Karl Germer, and even poetry comparing the experience to, like, falling in love. There's so many perspectives here.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder, like, what exactly is a holy guardian angel?
That's the question, that Black Pearl seems to be wrestling with. And it lays out all these different viewpoints and almost like invites you to figure out what it means for yourself, right?
Okay, let's dive into Crowley's take first.
All right.
He was this, like, key figure in Thelema, and he described the HGA in some, I don't know, pretty intense ways, right? He's like, spiritual son of the soul, the unconscious self, even the spiritual phallus. Those are some powerful images.
Definitely attention grabbing. But what do those terms actually tell us about the HGA?
Yeah.
Like, what's he really trying to... They suggest that it's not some kind of external being, but it's more like a hidden part of ourselves.
Oh, okay.
Right? A source of guidance and authority that we need to connect with.
So not your typical guardian angel sitting on your shoulder.
Not quite. Crowley believed that the HGA was about this merge, becoming one with this deeper aspect of yourself. It's about recognizing and integrating it into who you are.
That's pretty deep.
It is. It is.
But then we have Karl Germer,
Right.
who's also known as Frater Saturnus.
Yes.
And his letters describe a totally different experience, almost like he's communicating with the HGA as like a separate being.
Mm-hmm.
More like a messenger or a guide.
Right. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Germer describes his HGA communicating through other people.
Oh, wow.
Even historical figures.
Oh, really?
He mentions, his brother kind of pushing Napoleon into this pivotal moment, right?
Right.
And he interprets that as his HGA intervening.
That's wild. So is the HGA a part of us or a separate entity?
It's a good question.
This journal is making me think it could be both or maybe neither.
It's the beauty of Black Pearl. It presents this paradox and lets you, the reader, wrestle with it, There's also a poem by Sora Merrill that describes the HGA's voice as intuition.
Oh, okay.
Right? So we have this spectrum of possibilities, is it subconscious? Is it a separate being? Is it pure intuition?
Right.
The journal seems to be saying, explore it and see what you discover.
It's definitely an invitation to explore.
Mm-hmm.
And that takes us to Brother Proserpinus's magical diary.
Oh, yeah.
He attempts the Abramelin ritual, which, just to clarify for our listeners, is this 6-month process of intense prayer and isolation, all to achieve what they call knowledge and conversation of the HGA.
6 months of isolation to connect with your HGA.
I know, right?
That sounds intense.
It does, right?
Yeah.
And his diary entries reflect that. He goes through these like crazy emotional highs and lows.
Yeah.
Excitement, frustration, moments of profound connection and love, then, doubt and despair. It's a roller coaster, to say the least.
Yeah. His diary doesn't shy away from the raw human side of this mystical journey.
Mm-hmm.
He even writes about reinterpreting his homosexual fantasies as this yearning for connection with the sun and his HGA.
Wow. So even those desires are woven into his spiritual experience.
Exactly. It's not about suppressing parts of yourself,
Right.
but understanding how they fit into a larger whole.
Yeah, yeah.
What stood out to you from his diary entries?
Honestly,
Mm-hmm.
the Phoenix pentagram ritual,
Oh, yeah.
it seemed like that was a turning point for him, like a taste of what connecting with his HGA felt like.
Yeah.
But even with that, the diary keeps going,
Yeah.
suggesting this connection is an ongoing process, not a one-time thing.
That's a great observation. The journey continues. So we've got these different definitions of the HGA and then this deeply personal account of someone actually trying to connect with it.
Yeah.
But Black Pearl doesn't stop there.
Right.
We also have this essay about Nuit,
Okay.
the Queen of Space, a
Yeah.
central goddess in Thelema.
Mhm.
And this essay, rather than focusing on complex rituals or, anything like that,
Yeah.
it highlights love as the path to her.
Love. That's definitely more relatable than some of the other concepts we discussed.
For sure.
But I have a feeling we're not talking about your typical romantic love.
You're right. Sora Merrill, the author, talks about moving beyond that to a transcendent love that encompasses everything. Learning to love without conditions or expectations. Does that remind you of anything else we've discussed so far?
It does. It connects back to the HGA.
Yeah.
If you're trying to merge with this, like, truer aspect of yourself, wouldn't unconditional love be essential?
Absolutely. And Sora Merrill even suggests that the HGA acts as a guide, helping you cultivate that kind of love within yourself. It's a fascinating perspective on both the HGA and the path to Nuit.
So we've got angels, rituals, intense personal journeys, and a goddess connected to universal love.
That's a lot to take in.
I know. What else does this Black Pearl have in store for us? This is turning out to be way more than I expected.
Well, this is where things get a bit unexpected. There's a piece about a cat named Crawford.
Wait, a cat? What does a cat have to do with all this?
This journal really keeps you on your toes. Crawford was a stray adopted by the editor, James Eshelman, and he writes about how this seemingly simple relationship with the cat actually held this deep spiritual significance for him.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about Crawford and these spiritual lessons.
So Eshelman compares the human-animal bond to the human-HGA connection. He even suggests that domesticated animals have developed what he calls ruach consciousness. It's a level of spiritual development, beyond just basic instincts.
Hold on. He's suggesting we can learn about spirituality from animals.
That's right. And specifically, he believes they can teach us about unconditional love, which, as we've seen, is a recurring theme in Black Pearl. He even describes Crawford's death in detail, how there was this sense of conscious farewell and peace. It's a very touching story.
Yeah, it's amazing how profound our connection with animals can be. It makes you think about the deeper meaning in all our relationships, doesn't it?
It really does. But before we get too lost in contemplating cats,
Yeah.
there's one more piece we need to discuss, and it's perhaps the most mysterious of all.
Okay.
The sleep of Salome.
Ooh, that sounds cryptic. What exactly is the sleep of Salome?
That's the million-dollar question. It's a
Hi.
technique briefly mentioned as being assigned to a specific grade in this magical order called the Aro, which stands for Argentium Astrum, or Order of the Silver Star. And the mystery kind of deepens when we look at the name itself.
Okay.
Salome connects to a biblical story about Jesus healing a blind man at the pool of Siloam. But the word Salome in Greek has the same numerical value as the Hebrew word for the sphere on the tree of life that's associated with the HGA.
Wait a minute. Are you saying there's a numerical link between a biblical pool where someone's sight was restored and the holy guardian angel? That's a
Yeah.
lot to unpack.
It is, and because of that link, there's a lot of debate about what the sleep of Siloam actually is.
Yeah.
Some people believe it's a state of peace and union with the HGA. Others think it might refer to a lost document, and some even connect it to sexual practices that Crowley wrote about.
So we've gone from potentially profound spiritual states to lost texts to maybe even something a little risque.
Yeah, this deep dive is taking us everywhere.
That's what keeps it so interesting.
Exactly.
Black Pearl gives us clues, but leaves a lot open to interpretation. Gives you these mysteries to ponder and paths to explore.
Mm-hmm.
This journal is way more complex and fascinating than I anticipated.
I agree.
It's like a puzzle box of spiritual insights and personal stories, all centered around this mysterious concept of the holy guardian angel.
Hmm.
We've covered a lot of ground already, different definitions of the HGA, Germer's unique experiences, and now this mysterious sleep of Salome.
Right.
But there's still so much more to unravel.
Absolutely.
Luckily for our listener, we've got 2 more parts to this deep dive. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. As we keep exploring this Black Pearl journal, I'm struck by how it challenges our expectations of what a mystical experience should be, right?
Yeah.
We've encountered these profound rituals and concepts,
Yeah.
but then we also have, like, Crawford the cat
Yeah.
and the editor's reflections on that relationship.
Yeah.
It's an interesting mix.
It's like the journal is saying that, spirituality can be found anywhere, not just in, temples or ancient texts.
Right.
Even in our interactions with animals, there's this deeper meaning to uncover.
Exactly. And Black Pearl doesn't shy away from pushing boundaries in other ways, too.
Okay.
Remember the mysterious sleep of Siloam we were discussing?
Yeah, yeah.
One interpretation connects it to sexual practices.
Wait, really? We're talking about a mystical practice to connect with your HTA, and it might involve sex.
That's one interpretation, yes.
Yeah.
It stems from a chapter in Crowley's work on erotocomatose lucidity.
Oops.
The idea, to put it simply, is that repeated sexual satisfaction to the point of exhaustion can lead to this specific sleep state.
Right.
And Crowley believed that if done correctly, this state could bring, profound spiritual insights.
That's definitely not what I was expecting.
It's pretty out there.
There's so much mystery surrounding this, sleep asylum.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder if there are, connections between sexuality and spirituality that we haven't fully explored yet.
Yeah, Black Pearl doesn't give us any clear answers, which is part of what makes it so thought-provoking, It encourages us to grapple with these different interpretations and to question our assumptions about where we might find spiritual meaning.
Right, yeah. So it's not just about angels and goddesses.
Right.
It's about, the whole human experience.
Yeah.
Even the parts that might make us uncomfortable.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And this idea of challenging assumptions comes up again with Crowley's notes on the 8th Enochian ether, which are included in the journal.
Enochian ethers, those sound pretty intense.
Yeah, they're a lot.
Can you remind us what those are all about?
Sure. They're a series of mystical visions recorded by John Dee and Edward Kelly back in the 16th century.
Okay.
Crowley considered them incredibly important for spiritual and imaginal development,
Right.
and wrote a lot about his own experiences with them.
Right. And Black Pearl includes his notes on one specific ether, the 8th one?
Yes.
Is this connected to the HGA?
Yes. The 8th ether is all about achieving the knowledge and conversation of the HGA.
Okay.
Crowley describes encountering this powerful angelic being in this ether and receiving instructions on how to prepare for this connection.
Oh, what kind of instructions? Is it like a step-by-step guide to finding your HGA?
Not exactly. The instructions are more about creating the right internal conditions, purifying your mind and body, strengthening your will.
Wow.
The angel tells Crowley to prepare a chamber in this purpose with white walls and a black and white checkered floor.
Interesting.
He mentions creating a wand from almond or hazelwood and performing specific rituals and meditations.
So it's not as simple as just wishing for an angel to appear. There's real work involved.
Absolutely. And what makes these notes so interesting is that Crowley goes beyond just the practical instructions.
Oh, okay.
He also analyzes the symbolism and deeper meaning behind these practices.
Can you give me an example of the kind of symbolism he's talking about?
Yeah, so he talks about the importance of the number 91 in this ether.
Okay.
He notes that there are 91 days between the equinoxes and solstices, which are, key times for magical workings. He also points out that 91 is the numerical value of certain Hebrew words related to the HGA.
Wow, so he's connecting the ether to, astronomical events and Hebrew words.
Yeah.
That's a lot of layers to consider.
It is, and it highlights Crowley's belief that that seemingly unrelated elements are actually connected in this meaningful way.
Yeah.
He's not just going through the motions of the ritual.
Yeah.
He's trying to understand the deeper principles at play.
That makes sense. It's like he's trying to weave together different strands of knowledge to create a tapestry of meaning.
Exactly. And what's great about the journal is that it encourages you to do the same.
Go ahead.
It presents Crowley's insights not as the final word, but as a starting point for your own exploration of the ether.
So we have this blend of practical instructions, symbolic analysis, even a bit of numerology.
Yeah.
It really shows the dedication and intellectual rigor that Crowley brought to his magical practice.
Absolutely. And that dedication becomes even more apparent when we look at his visions of the 15th, 14th, and 13th ethers, which are also included in Black Pearl.
All right.
These visions are incredibly detailed and offers some really profound insights into Crowley's journey of spiritual transformation.
Before we get into those visions,
Okay.
can we take a step back for a second?
Sure.
You mentioned that Crowley went through an initiation ceremony into the grade of Magister Templi.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean?
So the Magister Templi is a high-level grade in the hour
Okay.
associated with the Sephira of Bina on the Tree of Life.
Mm.
Achieving this grade signifies this huge shift in consciousness, like crossing the abyss,
Oh, wow.
which is this symbolic chasm
Yeah.
that separates the lower realms of the tree
Yeah.
from the supernal triad.
So it's like a major spiritual accomplishment.
You could say that.
Mm.
And Crowley's visions of these three ethers, the 15th, 14th, and 13th, seem to relate directly to this process of crossing the abyss and attaining the grade of Magister Templi.
Okay, I'm ready to hear about these visions. What kind of experiences did he have?
Each vision is unique,
Yeah.
but there are some common themes. For instance, the 15th ether starts with this powerful image of this tremendous column of scarlet fire and this dancing goddess who's weaving together the spirits of those baptized in the waters of life.
That sounds intense.
Yeah.
What's the significance of the scarlet fire and the dancing goddess?
The scarlet fire represents this fiery energy needed to break through limitations and cross the abyss. It's associated with Germer,
Okay.
the Sephira of strength and severity on the Tree of Life. The dancing goddess, on the other hand, seems to represent Babylon,
Okay.
a key figure in Thelema.
Who embodies both creation and destruction.
So Crowley's being confronted with these powerful forces that are both alluring and terrifying.
It is. It is.
That sounds like a very intense experience.
And as the vision continues, the dancing goddess reveals herself to be the weaver of the cosmos, the one who harvests adepts for the ordeal of the abyss. It's a powerful metaphor for the transformative process Crowley's going through.
Wow. Okay, that's the 15th ether. What about the 14th?
The 14th ether is even more intense.
Okay.
It starts with this veil of darkness and this voice proclaiming, "Behold, the great one of the night of time stirreth, and with his tail he churneth up the slime, and of the foam thereof shall he make stars."
Whoa, that's some serious imagery. It sounds like Crowley's being plunged into this, like, primal darkness.
Yes, it's a description of the raw, chaotic forces that exist beyond the abyss.
The great one of the night of time seems to represent the unmanifested potential of the universe, the raw material from which everything is created.
Wow.
And the angel Crowley encounters in this ether speaks of sorrow, affliction, and desolation.
Crossing the abyss definitely doesn't sound like a walk in the park.
No, it doesn't.
It seems like it involves confronting some pretty, heavy stuff.
It does.
Right.
It is a process of ego death, of facing your deepest fears and anxieties. Crowley's being stripped bare, forced to confront the void.
So it's not all blissful visions
No.
and angelic guidance.
Yeah.
There's a darker side to
There,
this.
absolutely. There's a raw honesty to these visions
Yeah.
that's both unsettling and liberating,
Yeah.
Crowley's being shown the truth of existence,
Yeah.
the underlying nature of reality, and it's not always pretty,
Right.
you know?
Okay, so we have the fiery energy of the 15th ether, the dark void of the 14th.
Yeah.
What about the 13th? Does it offer any, relief from this, cosmic roller coaster?
The 13th ether is different. It begins with Crowley finding himself in this beautiful garden, surrounded by fountains and flowers, and girls also in the garden, tall, slim, delicate, and pale.
Okay, that's a welcome change of scenery.
It is.
What do you make of the garden and the girls?
The garden seems to represent the fertile ground of higher consciousness, the realm of beauty and harmony that exists beyond the abyss.
Okay.
The girls who transform into flowers and back again symbolize the fluidity and interconnectedness of all things.
So after his harrowing journey through the abyss,
Right.
Crowley is being shown a glimpse of paradise.
It's a possibility,
Right.
and the angel he encounters in this ether is more human-like than the previous ones.
I know. It speaks about the importance of tending to one's own garden, which represents our individual spiritual development.
So even after crossing the abyss, the journey isn't over.
Right.
There's still work to be done.
There's always more to learn and grow.
Yeah.
The 13th ether emphasizes the importance of cultivating that inner garden, nurturing the seeds of wisdom and compassion within ourselves.
Yeah.
You know,
This is incredible.
it is.
It's like we're witnessing Crowley's spiritual evolution, watching him like wrestle with these profound forces and insights.
Yeah.
What's so remarkable is that he's sharing it all with us, inviting us to participate in this exploration.
Right.
He's not just telling us what he saw.
Yeah.
He's encouraging us to look for ourselves, to discover our own truth in these mystical realms.
You put it beautifully. Black Pearl doesn't offer easy answers.
Right.
It presents a tapestry of perspectives and personal experiences and profound mysteries.
And in doing so, it encourages us to embark on our own journeys of self-discovery, to explore the depths of our beings, and connect with the divine spark within. It's an invitation to awaken to the magic that's woven into the fabric of reality.
This deep dive is really challenging my assumptions about spirituality.
Oh, yeah.
We've got Crowley's visions of the ethers,
Mm-hmm.
his interpretations of the symbolism,
Yeah.
and even that peek into the sleep of Saloma,
Right.
which still has me thinking about the connections between sexuality and spirituality.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff.
I know, and we're not even finished yet.
You're telling me there are so many layers to Black Pearl.
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about the insights into Kabbalah,
Oh, yeah.
tarot, and astrology. There's a whole world of knowledge waiting to be explored.
Well, luckily for our listener, we have one more part to this deep dive to delve into these additional facets of Black Pearl. I can't wait to see what other insights and surprises we uncover
Me neither.
as we wrap up our deep dive into Black Pearl. I keep thinking about this idea of interconnectedness.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it's kind of woven through everything we've discussed.
Yeah.
From Crowley's analysis of the Enochian Aethers to
Yeah.
the simple story of, Crawford the cat.
I see that too, yeah. It's
Yeah.
like the journal's constantly reminding us that everything is connected in some way, right? That there's a deeper meaning and purpose even in the most, everyday parts of our lives.
And that idea of interconnectedness is really apparent in the journal's exploration of Kabbalah.
Yeah.
Remember the sleep of Saloma we were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
One of the clues to its significance seems to lie in, Kabbalistic symbolism.
You're right. You mentioned that the word salom in Greek has the same numerical value as the Hebrew word for the sphere associated with the HGA on the Tree of Life.
Okay.
That's a pretty fascinating connection.
It really is.
Yeah.
So how does, understanding Kabbalah help us understand this mysterious sleep of Salome?
Well, the Tree of Life is the central diagram in Kabbalah.
Right.
And it maps out different aspects of the divine and how they relate to human experience,
Okay.
right? Each sphere on the tree is associated with specific energies and symbols and even numbers.
So by understanding the Kabbalistic symbolism
Right.
connected to Salome,
Mm,
we might be able to unlock like a deeper understanding of this technique.
exactly. And it's not just about, decoding a secret message.
Well-
It's about recognizing these underlying patterns and connections that exist throughout the universe. Kabbalah provides this framework for understanding those patterns, for
Mhm.
seeing how everything fits together.
It's like Kabbalah gives us a language to understand the hidden messages
Mm-hmm.
within reality.
That's a great way to put it. And Black Pearl encourages us to use that language to delve into the symbolism and numerology of Kabbalah
Yeah.
to unlock deeper meaning in our own lives.
So it's not just about studying ancient texts. It's
Ah.
about applying these Kabbalistic principles to our own experiences, like our relationships, our challenges, everything.
Absolutely. And this leads us to the journal's exploration of tarot. Tarot, like Kabbalah, is this system of symbolism that can be used for self-discovery and divination,
Mhm.
right? Black Pearl features a detailed analysis of the Star Ruby cards. Have you ever worked with those?
I haven't. Are the Star Ruby cards a specific deck,
Mm-hmm.
or is it more of like a spread or
Yeah.
a method of interpretation?
They're a specific set of images created by an artist named Angela Wickstrom.
Oh, okay.
What's unique about them is that they depict the four main elemental spirits, the Sylphs of Air,
The salamanders of fire,
right.
the undines of water, and the gnomes of earth.
So instead of the traditional tarot imagery,
Right.
these cards focus on elemental forces.
Yes. And the journal provides, a really in-depth analysis of each card,
Yeah.
exploring its symbolism, its astrological correspondences, and what it means within the context of magical practice.
Yeah.
Give
me an example. What kind of insights can we get from looking at these Star Ruby cards?
Well, take the card depicting the Sylphs of Air.
Yeah.
It's described as having a wizened elder male, gray-white hair and beard, eyes luminous with an ancient understanding.
Okay.
He's wearing a red-orange cloak and a pale blue robe, and there are flames dancing around his feet.
That's quite a visual. What does it all represent?
So the elder male figure represents the wisdom and knowledge associated with air. Right.
The red-orange cloak symbolizes the fiery energy needed to spark the intellect, while the pale blue robe represents the clarity and peace that comes with true understanding. Yeah. And the flames dancing around his feet, those represent the transformative power of air, how it can, inspire and uplift us.
Wow, there's so much meaning packed into that one image.
There is. That's the beauty of tarot. And the journal encourages us to explore those meanings, to delve into the symbolism of each card and see how it resonates with our own lives.
It's like tarot gives us a visual language for understanding our inner world, our strengths, our challenges, our potential.
Yeah.
It all ties back into this theme of interconnectedness, doesn't it?
It does.
Tarot, Kabbalah, astrology, they're all tools for understanding the deeper patterns and connections that exist both within us and in the universe.
You nailed it. And Black Pearl acts as a guide to using those tools to navigate that complex web of meaning.
This deep dive has been such a journey. We've explored magical diaries, celestial goddesses, spiritual lessons from a cat, the symbolism of the Enochian ethers.
It's been a lot.
It's been an incredible whirlwind of, insights and mysteries.
I agree.
Right.
What strikes me is that Black Pearl doesn't shy away from the complexity of these topics.
Yeah.
It embraces the paradox, the mystery, the things we don't know.
Right.
It doesn't hand us easy answers, but it gives us perspectives and tools to find our own way.
It's like we're given a key, but we have to find the right door.
Right.
And the search itself is part of the adventure.
I love that.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that's the legacy of Black Pearl. It reminds us that the search for meaning, for connection with the divine, is a lifelong journey.
Right.
Right. It requires courage, curiosity, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. And along the way, we might just stumble upon some unexpected and profound discoveries.
For anyone listening, if you're feeling called to explore your own depths and connect with the magic that's woven into reality, I highly recommend seeking out Black Pearl.
Yeah, it's worth it.
You might be surprised by what you find.
And remember, the journey is just as important as the destination.
Yeah.
Embrace the mystery, trust your intuition, and allow yourself to be transformed by the experience. The universe is full of wonders just waiting to be discovered.